Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Let's talk about Uttar Pradesh's State Women's Commission, which has proposed that men should neither tailor clothes for women nor cut their hair as part of an initiative to protect women from bad touch and avoid any ill intentions by male workers in these professions. Now, Babita Chouhan, who is the chief of Uttar Pradesh's Women's Commission, has also said that gyms catering to female clients must employ women trainers. She has also proposed that police verification of all gym trainers be made mandatory. And if a woman wishes to train with a male trainer, she will need to provide a written consent. And these suggestions were made by the women's body during a meeting which was held on October 28th. Now, what does one say about these proposals which have been made? And uh, Chauhan herself has said that she sent these proposals to all the district collectors and the DMs for implementation. Now, is this a regressive step? The other side of it is that yes, more and more females will be employed, but does a society need this kind of a guideline or a rule, if you may call, in today's modern world? We'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me now is Tahira Hassan, the renowned women's activist, joins us from Lucknow. And thank you so much, Tahira ji, for joining. We have Sunita Aron, who's the consulting editor to HT Lucknow, and she's an author as well. Thank you so much, Sunita ji, for joining. And we have Siddharth Sharma, who's an independent media analyst. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining. And I'll begin with Sunita Aron. But Sunita, if you've gone through the proposals which have been proposed by the Uttar Pradesh's Women's Commission, I'm just wondering how a women's commission can come up with proposals like these. What was the idea behind? I'm just trying to understand from you. Yes.
I think it's just a mere rhetoric. They know this is not going to happen. And somewhere they think that their leadership would, like it. It's basically to do anything which is, he feels nice about it. Maybe they have it at the back of their mind that certain professions, they're more of Muslims, non-Hindus rather. If you look around tailoring, then definitely the best of tailors, the best of designers we had from the Muslim community, and not only tailors, artisans in general. You can talk
And
about
why forget the barbers? The
barbers
barbers.
also, so maybe that will also come from somewhere. They'll say, okay, go and get your hair cut from a non-Muslim and not a Muslim. Look, this is a part of their way of creating a Hindu Rashtra, where you are trying to hit out at the economics of the way people earn their money. Just imagine if today we are talking about Kumbh, there'll be only Hindus and not Muslims. In a way, a little money that a small time Muslim trader is making from gathering of millions of people, you are depriving him of that. So all these things, I somehow think they are very temporary things. They are raised to, and unfortunately they find supporters in our community also. Somewhere some people will say yes, like some husband, one of those regressive husband will say, look, I've been telling you, your tailor is not the right person to go. Why do you go to Ahmad, or you go to Shamshad, or you go to Mahesh, whatever names they are? So there will be, but before making any such statements, they should, I have a feeling now that it is high time that they try to float an idea in the market. In the market means in the, you say, in the society, and get a response on that. How can you just unilaterally announce that we are going to do this? And what about, where do people go then? Do they have any idea about the market that is available, about the tailors that are available? You just, then tomorrow they might say, because I don't think so, we are moving forward, we are going backward. Tomorrow they might say, what is women doing at home? They should be stitching their own clothes. They should be stitching clothes of their husbands also, children also. This is a very, very disturbing scenario. It's not something which one can just dismiss it lightly, because it's further deepening the division that has already happened in the society. And one can see the intentions, that's very clear. I think if one organization has demanded it, lot of organizations should object to it, reject it, and there is a need for such rejections also now, because this is not going to happen. This is what they have said it once. Maybe they'll send a proposal to the government, and the government, I doubt, will react to it, because they won't gain so much politically from a decision like this. Uh, but it's very unfortunate. I can only say that. It's very, very unfortunate that in today's India, we are talking about all these things. Every department is trying to find something to keep the leader happy.
That's true. Tahira ji, I'll come to you now. How do you view this proposal, which has come up at a time when Yogi ji is talking about katoge to batoge, and everything seems to be linked. And as what Sunita just pointed out, that the barbers, most of them are Muslims, the tailors, most of them are Muslims. So do you find any connection with the religion from the particular community we are talking about, or is there some other reason why the Women's State Commission has gotten such a regressive proposal?
No, I think it's something I couldn't get it, that what does it mean by the state women commission chairperson, what kind of message she wants to send. I mean, I couldn't get it as a women rights activist, because this is a women prerogative. There are boutiques where the women take the measurements. There are tailors shop where the people, it's a women's prerogative to decide where do they want to go. It's not that somebody will say, no, don't go there. That bad touch is there. They understand. They are not, I mean, they have brain. Don't treat them as an animal. That you tell them, where is good touch and bad touch is there. And the other things, if really you are serious to curb the rising violence against the women, sexual violence against the women, so why don't you implement the rules, acts which were suggested by Justice Verma committee after Nirbhaya?
True.
Why
Which are
have you
the
not implemented them properly? 3,000 crore Nirbhaya fund, where you have utilized it properly? Why your helplines are not working properly? Question is this: why not taking eve teasing? Because our girls are facing in remote area this problem of eve teasing, and the result of this eve teasing is, Nilu, that they are denied their fundamental rights. They are pushed within the four walls. Now you don't go to school, or you can't come back, this will happen, that will happen. So you curb these type of evil practices which are taking place in society, and the redressal of such cases should be fast track court, so witness will not get hostile and conviction rate will increase. When the conviction rate will be increased, then the people will be feel fear from taking the law in their hands, assaulting women, mistreating women. I mean, these things are not going to do any help. Poor tailors, they have, they will employ one woman to take the measures. They are not able to get the two ends meet properly. They are not earning properly. And boutiques are there. Mostly the well-off people prefer going to boutiques. All the women go to boutiques with this type of. I don't know what kind of suggestion you are giving. This, I mean, my question is this: how are you going to curb the rising violence against women by these suggestions? What is your blueprint? You let us know about it. Maximum women, I tell you, go to the boutiques in Lucknow. They are full. They are not able to deliver the goods in given times. So,
you point
what are you talking of?
Oh, you pointed out a very significant thing, that if more women have to be hired, and supposing if the owner of a boutique shop is a male, so obviously he will literally have to hire a female. But what if that owner misbehaves with that female? Now, how do we ensure that she is going to be safe? Now, that is also another question. And the same thing goes with the gym, with the boutiques, with the tailor shops. Uh, and all this is being doled out in the name of women's safety. So, Tyraji, I mean, what kind of a proposal is this in the name of women's safety, that, we are trying to prevent bad touch, and then therefore we will try and separate the male and the females?
Yes, very true. This is what I'm saying. If suppose the owner wants to is misbehaving with the women, what they will do? Their measurement will be taken by the woman, right? The lady is there who will take the measurements and do everything. She is employed there. But what about the owner who has a muscle power? Suppose he is a muscle power also and money power also. I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, how you are going to curb the rising violence by these steps? Or you will say that anybody who misbehaves with the women will be taken seriously, and they will be punished properly. Whatever the laws are there in that category, they will be punished. But you are not saying this. You are saying the only you will solve such problems by just uh, making the lady tailor and in the gym there should be a lady, and there every place there should be lady, and if the shops also there should be a sale girls. There are lots of shops where the sale girls are there. Most of the sale girls are there. What is this? And what about the restaurant? She should they pass this also. In the restaurant, we don't want male men. Suppose they are serving, they misbehave. Bad touch is there also. So
No, no.
just
In fact, there are many examples. There are so many male gynecologists to whom the women go. Now, what does one do? There are doctors who
what
approach.
about not suppose Nilu not a gynecologist, but good this physicians are male. Most of them in Lucknow, in Delhi. So if the women are facing some problem that they need to go to good physician, what they will do? They will go to the gynecologist for the treatment of hypertension or diabetes on these all things. In the gynecologist, I mean, there will be bad touch and good touch. He will just examine you properly. So I don't get the whole this thing. It's very funny.
Right. Okay, now let me get in Siddharth. Siddharth, do you find any logic, some reasoning? All this is being done in the name of women's safety, that we'll try and prevent, bad touch. There have been several complaints regarding the bad touch. This is what this chairperson of the UP State Women's Commission has said. Now, all this is being done in the name of women's safety, that we are trying to keep the women safe from bad touch, from ill intentions of the males. Now, what kind of a proposal is this? Do you find any logic behind this?
There's a saying, Nilu, that once a farce, twice a tragedy. I think what happens essentially is that we have to understand that governments are supposed to implement policies. But if a government is bankrupt on policy, then it is forced to play politics. Any government, I'm not speaking about any party here, any government is supposed to implement any policy. Now, if a government is totally bankrupt on policy, it itself is under compulsion, because it does not have any policy, to play politics. Now, what is happening with this? For example, my daughter is a advocate, and according to the data, we know that the most number of child sexual abuses happen through relatives. So how can you save a girl child from her own relatives who have a bad touch? So let us not get into that. That there is no logic to it. There is no there this entire fiasco that is happening. I don't think we need to see logic here. There is a reason to it, then there is a reaction to it, and then there can be a response to it. Now I'll tell you what the reason is. The reason, obviously, the stated reason is that women have to feel safer, according to the proposer of this new law. So that essentially is a mea culpa by the Yogi government, that it has failed in its Beti Bachao. So Beti Bachao has been going on for 10 years. And now if you say that Betis are not safe, that means that your own slogan has bitten the dust. So that is basically Mia Kalpa saying that Beti hum nahi bacha pa rahe. On the second hand, BJP goes hammer and tongs that it is the world's largest political party with the largest membership base and the biggest number of voters. Now, what uh, basically what has happened is that since BJP cannot make policies, it takes the easy way out of sermonizing. Sermonizing is the easiest thing to do in the world. You can sermonize about anything. I can right here, sit here, and speak about rocket science also. Nobody is going to check me out. Nobody is going to fact check me. So I think BJP and the most important factor that I've seen in this entire episode is that this entire episode of women going to tailors, please understand that this targets only a certain segment of the consumers. I think Sunita ji told about the vendors here, vendors being from a particular community. I am saying about the receiver, the customer, not from a particular community but from a particular class, and that class is either middle class or upper middle class. So BJP right now, and this problem does not exist with extreme lower class. If you go in extreme lower class, there are women, house women, who do tailoring in their house. So the any neighborhood women who want to go to a tailor, they would
No,
not be going
but
to any.
I mean, is it going to be both ways that the males cannot take the measurements of women and the women cannot take measurements of the males? Supposing
I
if you
think
have a
that should be the norm, no? I think that should be the norm again. If male tailors cannot take the measurement of women, how
no,
can women tailors take a measurement of
but
men?
no, but Siddharth, I am worried about the kind of environment it is going to breed in Uttar Pradesh. That are the males and the females of Uttar Pradesh being told that you better don't mingle with each other, because if you mingle with each
Yes,
other, there are
yes.
chances of a bad touch, there are chances of ill intentions. Is that what the UP State Women's Commission is trying to say?
I think the Women's Commission is just the facade. I think you have to understand that this is the BJP that is doing it. There is no hiding behind it. But obviously, the Women's Commission is the facade here. BJP, again, it is targeting a certain section of the middle class and upper middle class women, especially the Hindu women. That is what they are targeting. And for them, with a lot of time at their hands, with WhatsApp forwards day in and day out, I think it's a good consumer base for BJP to sell this kind of idea. This idea will not sell to super rich class. This idea will not sell to extremely lower class. जो दिहाड़ी वर्कर होते हैं उनके लिए लागू नहीं होता. It only pertains to a certain class of women, that too middle class and upper middle class. So I think aside from this, I'll just digress a little bit here. We have to understand, every citizen of India has to understand that any government's first and foremost duty is to provide security to all its citizens, because it's only the government which has the authority, the wherewithal, the resources, and the technology to provide security to somebody. Because the police की जरूरत पड़ती है, कोर्ट की जरूरत पड़ती है, मैन पावर की जरूरत पड़ती है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की जरूरत पड़ती है. Even if I'm the richest person in India, say I'm an Ambani, I cannot keep my private police with me. Security is something that only a government can provide to its citizens, and the security has to be provided to all the citizens. And that is the first and foremost duty of any government, irrespective of any party. What has happened is that BJP, I think BJP has absolutely not understood this concept, and because giving security to all the people is a humongous job. It's not an easy job. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort. So BJP, I think, is taking the easy way out and putting people into insecurity rather than securing people. Create a little bit of insecurity on them, so at least the people won't be questioning BJP for what it has to be doing. Rather than that, people will start getting confused and getting trapped the
Right.
entire rhetoric that the BJP is giving.
Right. I'll take a cue from where you said that, UP's Women's State Commission is a facade. This is a decision which has been taken by the Yogi government. This is what you said. Now, if this is a government decision which is trying to be, I mean, which the UP State Women's Commission has floated, Sunita, I'll come to you. That do you think that this is a sort of a trial balloon, which apparently the UP State Women's Commission is trying to just explore, that will it work, will it not work? But the big question is that what is it going to do to the women in Uttar Pradesh? And will the onus of proving themselves not lie solely on the women. It's going to burden the women unnecessarily. And there'll be punitive measures. What if a woman is found, like mingling with, and what if the woman says that, no, I have to take my measurement, I have to get my measurements done by a male tailor because he's one of my favorites. Like we all go to the barber shops, we all
Uh,
have our own stylists, and there's
Nilu,
a barber who's cutting your hair.
Nilu, I think this is something which will be dismissed like that only. I think today we are discussing it. After some time, I think this won't be discussed. I was just reading the objectives of State Women Commission, ensuring protection and welfare of women, handle gender-based issues through timely intervention in case of any violation of relevant laws or opportunity denial or depriving the women of any rights thereof. Now the point is there's so many cases that are happening every day in different corners of the city, state. They pertain to sexual harassment, eve teasing. I think Women Commission should have come out with some proposal, a good constructive proposal, and not take anything in a haste, a populist thing. It is not even populist, to be very frank. I don't think so. It will attract people, but
No,
they should
what
have
is this
done a
proposal
brainstorming.
gaining? No,
What
but
I'm saying is, ah,
no, what I'm wanting to ask you is that what is the Women's State Commission is gaining, and do you see any bright spot? Because a bright spot, everyone is saying that now look, the women will be safe, and there'll be more women coming into the employment scape. That there will be
no,
more
no, no,
employment.
no. I think that's a very, very, flimsy thing. The only thing is they wanted to do something new,
Hmm.
without giving due thought to it. You're supposed to do due diligence before you come out with some idea in the public. Without doing that, this was the easiest thing. Somebody in the family might have said, "Oh, we should check the tailors now. Why should we?" It's something which nobody is going to take it very seriously. Also, those who don't want to go to male tailors don't go to male tailors even without their telling them. There are women who don't go to male tailors. There are women who don't like to be measured by a male tailor, but others, well, they're already doing it now. And if somebody misbehaves, supposing a tailor misbehaves while taking measurement, you have law. You go to the police, you lodge a complaint. There is a system already in place. I have a feeling that instead of, they are in a hurry to come up with some type of a proposal that would please the chief minister, and it goes along with the slogan that he has already given to unite. This will only divide women further, I personally feel, because I don't think so people are going to take it seriously. I really hope that they sit and they do a brainstorming, and they decide how to, like, I'll tell you, we did some surveys, and a lot of students, we had given it to the government also as a newspaper. Lot of students said that in areas which are not properly lit, which do not have street lights, the molestation cases are higher, the cases of eve teasing are higher. The second thing they said, wherever there are liquor shops, and along with that there are meat shops and the pawn shops, if police can check the crowding there or assembly of people there, you buy and you move, eve teasing will be less. There are small, small things that Women Commission can do, for which they'll be appreciated that they did something, and at least get one or two cases of sexual assault, rape, reach its conclusive end. Instead of doing these small, small things. Okay, tomorrow the tailor will have his wife sitting there. Whether she takes the measurement or not, I go to my tailor. He says, my wife is there. I'll say, नहीं मासी जी आप ही ले लो. क्या है? इतने सालों से आप ले रहे हो. So it's a personal choice. Whom I go to, whom I don't go to. That's a matter of my personal choice.
No,
And if
but
I have a complaint, I'll
right.
go to the police.
Absolutely. No, but Tairaji, I want to come to this point that it's a matter of choice. But if it is made into a mandatory rule, that if it's made like a guideline that you have to follow, that you need to mandatorily and compulsively have women in the gyms, then in the tailor shops, in the boutiques, what happens to the right to choice? will the women not be left with any choice but to, whether they like it or not, but they will have to adhere to the rules just because the UP government wants it, or maybe the State Women's Commission has floated a proposal like this. So, what happens to the right to choice for a woman?
Yes, this is what I said my opening statement also. It's a women's prerogative. This is a women's choice whether they want to go to male tailor or they prefer going to boutique where the women will take the measurements. It depends where they are comfortable and where they want to go. So you cannot impose your rules on them. This is not a way I'm saying to help them in from the this kind of rising violence against the women. I mean, how can you curb the rising violence against the women? By these laws, you know. And the Women Commission must come forward and tell how many complaints they have received so far, where the women have reported against the tailors and the gym trainers and all. They must come out with this. It is not like that one day they sit and they decided, no, this will be done, this will be done. And it's absolutely right ki if you are serious in curbing the violence against the women, start from the eve teasing. Because this is the result of this is that our young girls are denied their fundamental right, their liberty, you know. This means that this is a patriarchal guideline which you are following. No, patriarchy of our society is patriarchal society which is deep rooted, and the patriarchy always makes the guideline. You know, this means you are want to push the women and girls within the wall, or you want them to go and come back before the sunset. You know, the girls, what happens in the remote areas, even in the Lucknow, I hear the mothers say, come back before the sunset, because this type of violence is rising against the women. So you want them, liberty will be, their liberty will be denied, their fundamental right will be denied to them. So they cannot, I mean, our girls, our women want the freedom without any kind of fear or hope, you know, and the state must provide them, the institution must provide to them.
Yeah.
The police must see that who are the people that are doing this eve teasing, who are these gundas. They must be put behind the bars. I mean, this is not that you're just going to ask the tailor to employ. Poor tailor is not earning enough in a small shop, and you are saying, no, you just employ one woman, so she will take the measurements. What is this? So this is, I think, this is absurd. Absurd.
Okay, so absurd, and it looks like a very thoughtless idea. Siddharth, what would you really
Very
say towards
thoughtless. Very thoughtless idea. Very thoughtless.
do you see any
Yeah, I
bright
think
spot in this decision? Can you see a brighter side to this decision? Yes.
Uh, I think when Sunita ji was looking upon the mandate of the Women's Commission and she read out a few parts, there were words like intervention, protection. These are essentially actions. But what happened essentially yesterday is that Women's Commission has given a suggestion. Suggestion is a verbal thing. It is sermons. No action is needed. So basically, that's where they've missed their mandate. One thing we have to understand, another thing is I'm giving a data here. Last year, I think less than 1 year ago, the National Crime Record Bureau came up with a national crime data. And it is the data clearly shows that crimes against women, especially Dalits and Dalit women, have increased in the past years under the BJP rule. So if today this women, the honorable lady who came up with this outlandish suggestion, would not have come out with this suggestion, all of us would have been today discussing this issue right now. This is Times of India today. Times of India today says that in Manipur, a woman in her house was burnt. We would have been discussing these kind of issues. BJP doesn't want these issues to be discussed. So at the nick of the moment, it comes up with an outlandish idea which covers up all the substantial, it essentially covers up all the substantive issues, and we are all stuck in discussing all these kind of outlandish ideas. I think it is high time the people of India hold BJP or any government I'm not just speaking about BJP here. It might be Tamil Nadu government, it might be Kerala government. The people of India have to start to hold their governments to account, saying that my security is your problem. It's your first and foremost
Responsible.
responsibility. That please give me that. All other things I can manage myself.
Absolutely. And more than the people, now we'll have to wait and watch how many women reject this idea. I mean, women, I think, will have to come up first and reject this idea. We'll have to see how many women take this idea and accept it as well. So we'll have to wait and watch how this idea
That is
unfolds.
very important. That is very
Yes,
important.
exactly. So we'll have to wait and watch how this idea unfolds, or whether this idea just, vanishes in the thin air as just like what it was proposed. Thank you so much, Sunita ji, for joining.
Thank
Taira ji,
you.
Siddharth,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for joining.